Good morning. It's 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, November the 5th. We're still in the forest in the mountains here. We haven't gone over the pass yet. I know I said that we would probably go over during the night, but that didn't happen because the two oxen that we lost on the way, it took them a long time to find them. And they actually rode all the way back to where we started and found them grazing over there. Luckily still with the loads on them. But they had to drive them all the way back here through the night. And when they got back here, they decided we would just get some sleep and we would start out in the morning. And unfortunately, you can see around me that there's some nasty weather that came in. It was really nice out yesterday, but today things have changed. And it's this misty, wet, miserable kind of snow, the kind that makes you want to sit inside all day, but there's nowhere to sit inside all day here. So we're still going to try to make it over the pass today in the snow, in the mist. I'm still going to try to film that to show you what it looks like, but I don't know how good it's going to come out or if you're going to be able to see anything at all. It could be totally white out up there, but this is how it is. This is reality. This isn't staged. This isn't, we're not shooting a movie here. I'm just attaching a camera to my body and showing you what I see. So, what I see is what you're going to see, hopefully. So, we've got about 5 more oxen to load. Most of the oxen stayed loaded overnight, but the ones with heavier loads got unloaded so they could get some rest over the night. And now we're finishing loading them. There are about 4 or 5 more. They take about 5 minutes each to load. And so we'll probably be here. Then the gear has to come down. We'll probably be here another half hour, an hour at least. And then we'll start moving into that canyon that I showed you yesterday and up over the pass. Once you're on the pass, you're on this kind of strip of alpine tundra with no trees or anything, very exposed for a little while until you descend into the Horo River Valley where we're going to spend the winter. So hopefully things will clear up a little bit and you get to see some of that stuff. And hopefully I'll get to see it too. It's not very cold. It's probably going to be colder up in the pass, but or maybe I'm just not cold because I'm wrapped in sheepskin right now. This Dell that I'm wearing has about 5 sheepskins sewn into it. And it's warm as hell, but it really takes energy out of you when you're trying to walk around and do work in it. It's almost like, you know, when you go to the dentist and they give you x-rays and they put that lead vest on you to shield your body from the x-rays and the radiation. It's like wearing one of those on your body. It's probably 20-25 pounds, and now that it's a little wet, it probably weighs a little more. But I'm totally warm in it, luckily. It's just so hard to move around. I'm also wearing traditional Mongolian felt boots, which Bimba wanted me to try. He insisted that I try them. Now my boots, the ones that I was wearing on the first day, suck. They're supposedly rated for -40 centigrade, which is bullshit because it was probably -15. So I'm going to wear these boots today. My feet are already completely warm. They're built with a lot of space in them. So I'm wearing 2 layers of socks, and then I wrapped my feet in cloth also, and then I have this felt layer, and there's still room to wiggle my toes and move my feet around. Not too much, but enough that there's a nice air pocket in there that's just constantly being rewarmed by my body heat. So we'll see. I hope they hold up to the weather. But right now I'm doing pretty well. So yeah, the weather can just change in an hour. You could be in a snowstorm, then you could be in the sun. An hour later, you're in a snowstorm again. An hour after that, you're in the sun again. 3 days after that, you're in snow for 72 hours, and then sunshine for a week and a half. You can never predict what's happening or what's gonna happen because there's so many microclimates here. I mean, we're up in the mountains right now, and the mountains have their own weather system and their own topography and their own ecology that all affects and plays into what's happening around you. And you can't even really see how well you can see, but those mountains that were really clear yesterday are now wrapped in fog. You could probably see the trees on them. Definitely can't see the tops of them, but this is how it is here. This is the way it is in Mongolia. There's just unpredictable weather, and all of your decisions and where to move and where to be and where to set up your camp play into that. So I'm hoping to learn more about that as the months go on here. There's a completely different set of decisions that herders make during the winter than they do during the autumn. Autumn is all about getting as much fat on your animals as possible and trying to get them to not lose any fat. Winter's all about keeping them alive, keeping them sheltered so that they're not exposed to wind and snow and the cold, because they die just like we die when conditions are really harsh. So it's about keeping them sheltered and keeping that fat that you tried to build on during the summer and the autumn on their bodies so that they can make it through the spring. Because the spring isn't like the spring in America where things green up, at the end of March and the beginning of April. Things don't green up until July here. So if you're having a really crappy winter, that crappy winter just escalates into the spring and into the summer, where if your animals start dying in the winter, they're not going to stop dying until the end of the spring, until things green up and there's fresh food for them to eat. So people cut hay and they store fodder and things like that to make sure that if they see animals that are getting weak, or animals that are pregnant, or animals that have just been born, they want to keep them as sheltered as possible, and they want to feed them supplementary forage, because a lot of times they're too weak to graze on their own, or they can't get enough nutrition from grazing. So, but more on that to come. It's going to be, minus 40 in a couple of weeks. So I'll show you what that looks like, and when they start feeding the animals hay, I'll show you how they make those decisions and which ones to give it to. But right now our main objective is to finish this migration. My ass is killing me, my arms are sore, my knees are sore. We're just not coming from New York or New Jersey. Maybe if you're from Montana or Wyoming or something like that, somewhere out west, you're more accustomed to riding horses, but you're probably accustomed to riding them with really comfortable saddles. These saddles, the only thing that could possibly make them more uncomfortable is if you welded like a pole on them that goes up your ass crack while you're riding. That's pretty much it for making these things less comfortable. There's not much more you could do. My stirrups were also a little too short than they should have been, and there's no way to lengthen them with the supplies we have right now, so my legs get pretty cramped as we ride. But what can you do? You just grin and bear it, and that's what it is. You either ride or you walk, or there's no really option to turn back right now, so you can piss and moan and complain, or you can just sit there and bear it. So I'm just trying to sit there and bear it, and it's been fun so far, but there's good and bad, and there's comfortable and uncomfortable in everything. So anyway, I'll stop rambling, because you're probably sick of seeing my face and listening to me talk. So have a good one. See you on the pass, or over the pass rather, in the winter camp.